We're going to watch the last clip of part 1 again, and then I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna ask 3 simple questions. Now we're gonna look at each noise individually, and remember, I have my static camera in the hallway, so we'll look at that footage too. I'm gonna ask 3 simple questions. I'm gonna ask 3 simple questions. There are actually 2 noises in this clip, not just one. They sound like objects moving, or a door or a window opening and closing, especially the first one. From what I can tell and remember, both noises came from upstairs, from the attic. Noise 2 is very faint and therefore hard to determine. You can hardly hear it on the static camera, even with enhanced audio. The third one seems like a faint crack or a snap, and it seems to originate from the kitchen, living room, dining room area, or from its ceiling, because it's not present on the static camera recording. This one is more pronounced on the static camera, so we know it's coming from that bedroom. I actually found an explanation for it while I was still at the house, so let's take a look. I just figured out that the single taps that I keep hearing coming from this room where I have the static camera, I think that's just water from the snow melting, dripping either from the roof to the attic or from the attic through this hole here onto this wardrobe or the floor. This one is more pronounced. It sounds like an object moving or a weight being shifted. Once again, I remember it originating from upstairs. I don't know what this snapping sound is. It seems to be equally present in both camera recordings. It doesn't sound like a water drop to me. It sounds like something else, but I don't know what. Okay, now the first one was definitely a water drop, But the second one sounds like an old rusty hinge or some other metal scraping. At this point, I'm very startled. That's why I'm reaching for my flashlight, because I was expecting someone or something to come down from the stairs, from the attic. But then the noises stopped, I calmed down, and I continued on with the investigation. I said 3 simple questions, and I'm gonna say one knock is yes, or let's make it more difficult but more compelling. Let's say 2 knocks mean yes, and 3 knocks mean no. But I have to explain this and ask the question in Slovene, obviously. Je ta hiša vaš dom? Naslednje vprašanje. Ste moški? Final question. Zadnje vprašanje. Vas moti, da sem tu? Dog. Again. I'm going to replay this part 2 more times from both cameras. After the drop and the dog barking, you'll hear a noise that's very, very similar to noise number 5 from before. Now, I'd like to try one final thing. I have a simple digital audio recorder, and We're gonna do some EVPs. I'm going to step into the hallway and ask a few questions. Okay, we're recording. Let's go. Še enkrat bom postavil nekaj vprašanj. Je ta hiša vaš dom? Ste moški ali ženska? Vas moti, da sem tukaj? Bi mi radi še karkoli sporočili ali pa komu drugem? Zdaj imate priložnost. Naprava bo ujela vaš glas. Izvolite. Hvala vam. Zaustavljam. Nothing happened and there was nothing on the digital audio recording except this weird metal ringing right after the first question. I'll play it now 2 more times with enhanced audio. Je ta hiša vaš dom? Je ta hiša vaš dom? Now I'm gonna do a little debunking. I'm gonna show 2 orbs, but they were caused by me shaking my jacket and pulling my phone from my pocket. Okay. Another creek. We have reached the end, but I would like to talk about the 7 undetermined noises from the beginning of this video. I believe the noises originated from the attic, and of course, I went upstairs to look around. Now, the door to the secret room was wedged. I remember doing it, and you can see from the clips there are some old roof tiles underneath it. So the door wasn't opening and closing. There are a lot of things up on the attic, but they shouldn't be moving on their own. There is an open window with a missing glass pane in the secret room, but the door next to it and the other window are completely intact and closed. And remember, I checked the house for animals before I started. The activity makes me want to return to this house one more time before it's demolished. I would spend a lot more time up in the attic and in the secret room, and I'd do my investigation there. I would like to know what you guys think of that, and what do you think the noises are. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.